This is Zach with the Cute Angling, and this week we're at Lago Stobel, one of the best places to catch huge rainbow trout in the world. This environment is extreme, but so is the fishing. When the rainbow trout are in the water cruising in the lake, they look like missiles, and it's super exciting to be able to see them when the water's calm, or sometimes when a wave comes in, you can see through the wave almost like a magnifying glass and see the big rainbows. You make your cast, you feel the tug. It is incredible fishing here. It's really unbelievable. They're very strong, the water's very cold, and it's just an ideal habitat for these monster trout. While the diversity in food sources for these fish is not very high, they do have a huge quantity of scuds and leeches in the water. You can pick up rocks and just see the scuds scurrying around everywhere. So it makes these fish fat, it makes them healthy, and it makes them super strong when you try to catch them. So I am here with my guide for the week and friend Nano, and he has been guiding here for how long? Nano, why don't you kind of explain how long you've been guiding in Patagonia and how long you've been in Lago Stobel?
Yes, well, I've been guiding here for 13 years and in Patagonia for 18 years.
Yeah, you were very knowledgeable about all the different spots and where to go when it was less windy and more windy, so I can really tell you know what you're doing. You were a very good guide for the week, so thank you. You did a great job. So, Nano, let's talk about some of the fishing opportunities here at the Laguna Verde estancia. So, let's start with the lake, Lago Stobel. That's kind of the top thing here that everybody's coming for. So, why don't you give us an overview and maybe some techniques, and then also the gear setup that clients should have when they come fishing here.
Okay, yes, the Lago Stobel is the main attractive area here. The people come here for the trophies. The Lago Stobel, it's a big lake. It's crystal clear, water very, very clear. And the most of the fishing we do it with floating lines. We mostly use strike indicators and leeches or nymphs. Scuds, yeah, that's the main technique. And then we also use dry droppers when the conditions are a little better. I mean, less wind, when it's sunny. And then there are some places where we use streamers. We do droppers with a streamer and a nymph, or just streamers. Every day is different here, so we have to use different techniques.
Yeah, even in our week of fishing here, we've had days where it was almost no wind and we could fish just a dry fly, which was really fun. And then other days where the wind was blowing really hard and we had to use sink tip lines with leeches or streamers. So yeah, each day is different and you just kind of have to adjust and adapt. So, okay, so good. So we have the lake, but there's also a few other opportunities here. Why don't we talk about the Barrancoso River? Why don't you give us an overview of that, and again, the techniques and the gear we need for that?
Yes, the Barrancoso River, it's the only river that comes into the Stobel Lake. It's a small river, a lot of rocks, it's fast. In the lower section, we divided it in the lower section, the middle section, and the upper section. There are around 8 kilometers into the property. So
And just to clarify, that's all private, right?
Yes, it's all private. It's all in the estancia property. So in the lower section, at the beginning of the season, it's mostly full of fish because all the fish are trying to spawn. That is in September, October, November, and December. Usually we start to fish in October here because the weather is early, it's too tough, could be a lot of snow, so we start the season mainly in October. Then we have the middle section, which is here behind the lodge. Here in November and December there are a little less fish than in the lower section because there is a kind of waterfall in the middle, so not many fish can get it up, but there is still a good quantity of fish. It's a little more challenging. You have to walk, you have to spot the fish, you have to work for them, but it's really good.
Okay, so we've talked about the lake, we've talked about Barrancoso. Let's talk about, there's several lagoons here on the property, and there's also a seasonal creek, Moro Creek. So why don't we talk about those and, again, the techniques and the gear on those lagoons in that little creek?
Yes, in the property there are around 14 lagoons. We fish mostly 5 or 6 of them. There are mainly rainbows, but also there are some brown trouts in some lagoons and brookies. The water of the lagoons it's not as clear as in the lake, but you can spot fish. But many times you do blind fishing. There are really good fish which goes from 2 to 8, 10 pounds, and even bigger in other lagoons. They can go to 12, 13 pounds. There are some really big rainbows.
That's nice.
We mostly use, again, dry flies on droppers or indicators and leeches. They work really, really good. The right rod, if it's windy, we always try to use 8 weights. You cover everything with an 8 weight. You can go to the river, you can go to the lake, and you can fish the lagoons. And if it's not windy, the right weight rod, it's around 6 or 5. Yep. It's very fun. You can handle a big fish with a 6 or 5 weight, and it's more fun. Yeah.
What about the seasonal Moro Creek that connects the lagoons?
Well, the Moro Creek connects, yes, like you said, all the lagoons in the property, and there are many sections. Usually we fish around 4 or 5 sections of the Moro Creek. It's a small water, and at the beginning of the season, the fish are trying to spawn from the lagoons. They get up and then they try to spawn. Depends of the lagoons. There are some sections where there are fish from 1 to 3 pounds. Other sections there are fish from 2 to 6 pounds. It's a very, very good spot to fish with dry flies, with mice, because they get very aggressive there.
And you mentioned some of the gear and techniques. Why don't you talk about the line, because that is especially important here, and why is that?
Yeah, one of the most important things about the gear, it's a good fly line. Yeah. You know, here is a windy area, so we need a line like, for example, this one, the Outbound Short Rio, or something similar. They have a short taper, yes, heavy, and all the weight is in the front. Yeah, so it gets much more easy to get the cast into the wind, you know, or roll cast big indicators with leeches or big dry flies with nymphs. It's very important. It's more important than the rod.
Let's talk about the seasons, what you can expect if you come like in November or December versus February, March. Why don't you walk us through, a couple months at a time, what you can expect to do. You explained a little bit on the rivers, but let's go through that in a little more detail. So let's start with probably November and December. What can we expect that time of year? What are the opportunities?
Okay, yes. Let's say October, November, and December. Okay. Is the beginning of the season, is where the fish are spawning. So you have really, really good chances to fish the river. In the river, you have the fish from the lake. So you can have maybe a 12 or 15 pound fish in a small stream, like is the river, which is crazy. Yeah. It's full of fish, so it's very fun. And the fishing in the lake is really good. It's a little cold, October, November. In December start to get a little warm. In the river you have a little less fish, but you still have some really good fish. So we have the chance to fish the river and the lake, and the fish start to get a little more active in the lake. So it's a really good month.
And what about January? So we're fishing in December, and it's been a great week because we've gotten opportunities for the river and the lake, and it's been awesome. What about if somebody wants to come January or February? What can they expect?
In January or February, it's a little warmer.
Yeah.
So the activity in the lake is it's better, especially on dry flies. You know.
Yeah.
You still can have some school of fish, which is very fun when you find them and they are feeding. It's crazy.
Let's talk about, do you guys fish into April at all?
Yes,
You do?
fish March and April. March, it's a really good month also. You can have very friendly weather and the fish are still active. And if it's cold, it's a little slower like in April, but you have the fish in the best shape. April is to catch a trophy. They are very, very strong. They fight really well. They are not easy to land. They are in perfect shape. And also in April, maybe the last 2 weeks, there is another run in the Rio Barrancoso. And there are less fish than in November and December, but there are all chromers. The river is lower, it's clear. You have more chances with dry flies. So it's my favorite time for the river.
Well, Nano, this has been great. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for a great week. I really appreciate the effort you put into guiding this week. I can tell you know what you're doing, so it's great to have you for this interview, and we appreciate all that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great week.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate you.